There's something in your garden or your neighbour's garden that could add 15,000 to the cost of your extension before you've even hired a builder. And no, it's not the ground conditions or the utilities. It's a tree. Hi, I'm Paul from Lightbox. I help homeowners across the UK to design extensions and renovations that actually work, both practically and financially. If you're planning an extension, what I'm about to tell you could save you from a very costly mistake that derails a lot of projects every single year. Here's the thing about trees and foundations. Most homeowners, and frankly, most builders, don't take this seriously until it's too late. You get your plans drawn up, you get your quotes in, but nobody's flagged up the oak tree at the bottom of the garden that's been there for 80 years. Then building control comes along and says, well, your foundations need to go deeper. Now what? You've got no contingency and a massive headache. Trees affect foundations in one primary way. They extract moisture from the soil. Now, on clay, which covers a huge part of the UK, that moisture extraction causes the ground to shrink. That movement transfers directly into your foundations, and that is ultimately what subsidence is. According to the RICS, the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors, around 20% of UK properties near mature trees have experienced some form of foundation movement. Now, that's a real widespread risk to homeowners. But the good news is it's completely manageable if you know what to look for at the start. Now, this is exactly why I offer online consultations, because the best time to get professional advice on something like this is before you've committed to anything, before you've signed a contract, before foundations are even on the table. That consultation is £130. And if trees are pushing your foundations deeper, then the difference alone could be £10,000 to £15,000. So the maths is really simple. Spend £130 now, save tens of thousands of pounds later. Links in the description, book it now. So what do you need to check for on site? So I have a 30-metre rule. So before your architect or your engineer puts any pen to paper, he needs to do a proper site assessment. And the rule that I use is backed by the NHBC. So I work on a 30-metre rule, which is simply a 30-metre radius from your proposed extension. Not 5 metres, not 10 metres, 30 metres. Here's exactly what you're looking for. First of all, species. You need to know what type of tree is actually there. Not all trees carry the same risk. I'll go on to the 4 worst offenders in a moment. The next would be height. So estimate the mature height of each tree. Root spread are typically calculated about 2 to 3 times the radius of the tree's canopy. So a 15-metre tree can have roots that extend 20 to 25 metres from the trunk. Next up is distance from your extension. Measure it properly, don't guess it. The closer the tree, the deeper the foundations. So make sure you measure it accurately. Soil type. So if you've got clay, which is common around London and the Midlands area, then you've got a real chance that you've got a significantly higher risk. So clay shrinks when it dries and it swells when it gets wet again. Now, that movement is what causes the damage. Existing signs of movement. Look at the existing house. Is there any diagonal cracks from the corner of your windows or your doors? Are your doors sticking when you open them? Step cracks in the brickwork. These are all signs that there's already some ground movement, and flag these immediately with your structural engineer. Now, here's the one that people consistently miss, and that is trees in your neighbour's garden. You need to check what trees are in your neighbour's garden. So for instance, if your neighbour's got a tree that's either on the boundary or it's 2 metres away from your proposed extension, although it's not in your garden, it still needs to be assessed. So make sure you check what trees are in your neighbouring gardens. If it's within that 30-metre radius, then it definitely needs to be checked by your structural engineer. All that information that you've collected will go to your structural engineer, and they will use that to calculate and work out what your required foundation design is going to be for your extension. Let's get into the 4 worst case species of tree that cause the most damage to UK foundations. Now, if you've got any of these trees within your 30-metre zone, your structural engineer is almost certainly going to be specifying an engineered foundation, or a deeper foundation, which we typically find is somewhere between 1.8 and 2 metres depth. Number 1 on the list is the willow, the weeping willow, which is arguably the worst offender on the list. These trees can extract over 1,000 litres of water from the soil per day. Now, the roots are shallow, but they are aggressive laterally, spreading 10 to 15 metres away from the trunk. They actively seek moisture, which means they seek drainage pipes, service runs, anything with a constant water source. A willow within 30 metres of your extension, particularly within 10, expect engineered foundations, deep foundations, or even piles. Number 2 is a poplar. Similar profile, poplars are fast-growing, high water demand trees. The root systems can extend up to 40 metres from the trunk in the right soil conditions. They're commonly planted as boundary windbreaks, which puts them right in the place where people want to extend their homes. Now, NHBC classifies a poplar in the highest water demand category. On clay foundations near a poplar, regularly pushes foundations well beyond 1.8 2 metre depth. Number 3 is the eucalyptus. This one's becoming more common in the UK gardens. Homeowners plant eucalyptus trees for screening. It looks great, but what they don't realise is these trees have extremely high water demand and can reach significant heights within 10 years. They're not native to the UK, which means their root behaviour can be less predictable than established species. If you planted a eucalyptus tree in the last decade and you're now planning an extension nearby, get it assessed by your structural engineer. Number 4 is the oak tree, and this is slightly different to the rest. Unlike willows and poplars, oaks combine a deep taproot with an extensive lateral spread of roots. Now, they can have a canopy of roughly 20 metres and have roots that spread 2 to 3 times that size. Now, there are hundreds of thousands of them across the UK, and a significant number of them are protected with a tree preservation order, or a TPO, which means you can't remove them or cut them without local authority consent. So sometimes you have to build around them, and that means engineering your foundations to account for them. Now, on clay near a mature oak, you're probably looking at either a piled foundation or a very deep strip foundation. So my curveball tree, and this is the one that catches everybody out because the tree doesn't look threatening, but they are common across the whole of the UK, and that is the conifer, or a leylandi. Now, here's what building control will do. They won't assess the tree at its current height. They'll assess it at its potential mature height. And depending on the species, that could be anywhere from 15 to 40 metres. Leylandi are fast-growing trees. Left unmanaged, they can reach 20 metres in 20 years. Now, building control uses the mature height of these trees to calculate the risk to your foundations, even if the trees that are in your neighbour's gardens are only as high as the fence. Now, in clayed soils, conifers extract moisture from the ground, and this is the part that really surprises people. Even after the conifers have been removed, they can still affect your foundations. Now, we'll come back to that in a moment because this leads on to the most common mistakes that I see on site. So what actually changes when trees are in the picture? So standard UK building regulations require a minimum foundation depth of generally 1 metre from ground level. That's the baseline. It protects against frost damage on clean, firm, non-expansive soil with no trees in the vicinity. So the moment that trees enter the equation, particularly on clay soils, Building Regulations Part A and NHBC Chapter 4.2 requires a completely different approach. Your structural engineer will calculate the depth of your foundations based on the species, the tree height, the distance to the extension, and the soil type. Now, on clay soils near high water demand trees, that depth can become 1.8 metres to 2 metres, sometimes even deeper. What are the foundation solutions? Well, firstly, there's deeper strip foundations, which is the most common solution. You excavate deeper, you use more concrete, it costs more money. But that's the standard approach to the majority of these affected sites. The next is pile foundations, where ground conditions are particularly poor or the tree is very close. Piles are bored down to the stable strata or the soil level below. Now, these are more expensive, but sometimes it's the only viable option. Other things that may be required with your foundations where you've got trees is things like a root barrier. Now, a root barrier is a geotextile barrier that's installed at approximately a 600mm depth to prevent root ingress in the foundation zone. Now, these will be used in combination with other products, and so this is not a standalone fix. The next one is clay boards. which is a compressible, approximately 50 mil board that is placed on the inside of your foundations to protect them against ground heave caused by shrinkage and rehydration of clay soils. So this is normally on the inside of your foundation, and the board just allows the soil beyond to be able to move and expand without causing any damage to your foundations. One more thing, and this is a mistake that I see constantly on site. Homeowners or the builder spot a tree that's going to flag up with building control. So they cut it down before the work starts. Problem solved. Well, actually, it isn't. On clay, removing a tree triggers ground heave. The roots were extracting moisture from the soil every single day. The moment that they're gone, the clay rehydrates, swells, and moves upwards. And that heave and lift is what can crack and damage your foundations. Let's recap quickly. Walk your site, use the 30-meter rule. Check the species, height, distance, and soil conditions. See if there's any movement on your existing house, on the structure, any step cracks. Get all of that information to your structural engineer before your foundations are designed, not after. The 4 to watch out for: Willow, Poplar, Eucalyptus, and Oak. Any of these within that 30-meter zone, and you're looking at some kind of engineered foundation, or a deeper foundation at 1.8, 2 meters or beyond. Now also check if your neighbour's got any conifers or any trees in their garden or any trees on the boundary that's within your 30-meter radius, because if they have, then it's going to affect your foundations. Deal with all that at the design stage, and this is manageable. Leave it until you're on site. It's a project stopper. Have you had a tree that's caused problems on your project? Or have you got a mature oak in the bottom of your garden and you're not sure what that means for your plans or your extensions? Well, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories. And if this has been really useful, then please like and subscribe to the channel. We put out new content every week to help people just like you to build the right extension. I'll see you on the next one.